The Obama family's personal chef has been identified as the paddleboarder who drowned near the former president's Martha's Vineyard estate. Martha's Vineyard, I should say. Police say 45-year-old Tafari Campbell was paddleboarding Sunday night when he went underwater and never resurfaced.
What's up, guys? It's your boy, Benny. Tragedy at the Obama residence as Obama's chef, Tafari Campbell, was found dead and drowned after a 24-hour search in 8 feet of water. But there are a lot of looming questions that I suppose it's our responsibility to ask. We're not afraid. Skepticism can never be wrong, and so we might as well dive right in here. There are some strange things that just don't seem to add up and some coincidences that are really peculiar about what's going on here, and the Obamas have admitted to lying about their whereabouts when all of this was happening. All of it very strange, all of it deserving of answers, and I want to start this video by saying that maybe if the press hadn't lied to us for the last 10 years, for the last 20 years about everything, whether it be WMDs in Iraq under George W. Bush, just in case you're wondering if this is part of this thing, or about Russiagate under Donald Trump, or about Joe Biden and his business dealings in Ukraine, if they hadn't have lied and obfuscated and covered up every single potential scandal, then maybe there'd be less people that automatically ask questions about official narratives like this. And it is our right and our duty in the First Amendment to ask the questions. That is why we have a First Amendment. It's why we have a freedom of the press. And ladies and gentlemen, we are the media now. So here we go. Let's go. Tafari Campbell, he's 45 years old. He drowned in 8 feet of water while paddleboarding. Here's a couple of strange things that just don't seem to add up about this tragic story. And ladies and gentlemen, it is tragic because he leaves behind a wife and kids, and we pray for him, and we've said that in various videos, our last video on this topic. But as we find out more, it makes us scratch our head a little bit. So here we go. He was seen struggling to stay above water when dispatchers sent crews to the scene. They relayed Edgartown Fire and Water, personal rescue, 40-year-old male, possible drowning. The investigation into the drowning continues. As the Obamas posted a heartfelt tribute to the cook. Okay, so let's begin. Here's where it starts getting weird. Witnesses first told cops Sunday night that a man, later identified as Campbell, went underwater and then briefly reappeared as he struggled to stay afloat before being submerged again around 7:46 p.m. The witness, who was not identified, was paddleboarding with Campbell. So who the hell is this person? Why did the witness notice somebody drowning and didn't jump in to help? This isn't deep water. Why don't you alert the Secret Service? Because the Secret Service was there. Because the Obamas lied about their whereabouts. The Obamas were on the island. This is their residence. The Obamas were home. The aftermath of the call, Chief Alex Schaefer of Edgartown Fire Department told the Vineyard Gazette Island Police firefighters conducted a door-to-door search for a drowned guy? Huh? Wait, what? Firefighters also searched for the pond's shoreline on foot. The search efforts resumed on Monday morning for the venerated chef who was last seen wearing all black without a life jacket. Who allowed him to swim without a life jacket? Was he inebriated? Had he been drinking? Who's allowing this person to paddle if he's no good at swimming? Why is he paddleboarding without a life jacket? I have a 2-year-old that can't swim. She wears a life jacket. Who's making these decisions? His paddleboard and hat were recovered on Sunday. His body was found at around 10 a.m. Hold up. So you made the call at 7:46 p.m., but you didn't find him until 10 a.m. the next morning? Sun isn't even down at 7:46 p.m. The sun's not down. This is not a big place. Martha's Vineyard is not a big place. The town has 5,000 people in it. You couldn't get out there and go search for the man? You couldn't get a boat out there? There's plenty of boats out there. The entire place is covered in yachts and boats. Why did you go do a door-to-door search for a drowned guy? Also, who's this mysterious person who was paddleboarding with Campbell? Hold on. So you're paddleboarding with somebody that you care about. I've paddleboarded before. Have you? You're paddleboarding. You watch them go under the water and not come back. It's not dark outside. It's 7:46 p.m. We check. Sunset's around 8:30 in Martha's Vineyard. So you just don't do anything about it? This is all incredibly strange. This is all incredibly weird. But here it gets even weirder. Here's the Obamas' house right here. Now, the Obamas were home at the time. This, I think, is very, very important to state that the Obamas, effectively, Barack Obama, were on Martha's Vineyard. Their private chef drowned and paddleboarding accident. Their story changed Initially, they said that they weren't there, and now it turns out that they were there, but they weren't home. They weren't actually at their home location. Okay. But that's you've changed the story. So here's where it really gets strange for me. Okay, so this is the poor man who drowned. This was the chef. The chef, by the way, was not an Obama chef. This is a George W. Bush chef. Did you know this? This man actually started working for George W. Bush in the White House, and he was one of a few chefs that were held over at the White House. So here's something strange. Here you go. Here's Obama's house in his private beach, all right? Here's a good photo of Obama's house in his private beach. Let's zoom in. This is a private beach. These are old photographs from when the property was actually listed like a decade ago when Obama bought it. These are old photographs. The Secret Service has access to this beach. This is the beachfront that leads directly up to the former president's house. Let me tell you something. As somebody who's gone in and out of presidential residences, the Secret Service has cameras here. The Secret Service has entry points here. If Barack, especially, no matter what time of year it is, but especially if Barack Obama is in residence, if Barack Obama is at the house, and we know that Barack Obama was at the house. So where are the cameras? Did the Secret Service know? I mean, this guy is a member of the president's detail. Why didn't the Secret Service have cameras? Would the Secret Service try and assist? These guys are good swimmers. These guys are top of their game, these Secret Service agents. They can swim, they can run, they can jump. Did any of these guys go out to try and help him? Did these guys call the police officers? Where's the initial 911 phone call? The 911 phone call came from Obama's house. So what happened? Why didn't the Secret Service go out there to try and help the drowned man? Why did the police go door to door to look for a drowned man? These are questions, ladies and gentlemen. These are questions worth asking. Here you can see the emergency vehicles there. Why didn't the Secret Service come in to help? Again, there's camera equipment in this landscape now. This is an old photograph of the private beach that the Obamas own. So where's the video? Now let's jump even further here. Of course, we now know that the Obamas were on the island, and that this man was regularly seen on the island when the Obamas were there. Okay? He joined them privately when they left office and was working at their $12 million waterfront estate when he died. So he was working. So he was working for the Obamas when he died in 8 feet of water after being submerged, and then the person he was paddleboarding with did nothing. Ran away from him after he submerged. Didn't try and help. Even though he wasn't wearing a life jacket. The Obama's office said they were not home. Their office clarified on Monday that they were on the island, just not at their residence when Campbell drowned. So where were they when this guy drowned? Where were they? This is not a big island. This is a teeny little island. Here you can see on the map. So this guy started working for George W. Bush. This guy was kept on by the Obamas. And the people who work in Edgartown say he was a wonderful guy. They knew him. It remains unclear whether Campbell suffered any kind of medical episode while on board. When are we going to get the autopsy? Was there any type of tragedy or trauma? Here he is with his old boss here, George W. Bush. We saw him last week. He was a nice guy, one staff member told thedailymail.com. He didn't seem to live here, but he would be here a lot in the summer and the fall and brought various things. He was nice and quiet, and it's awful to hear what happened to him. One of the things he would always buy was special order juice, orange juice and strawberry lemonade. He would come and chat with us about what he was cooking up, says the locals, okay? So what does this say? This says that he would travel with Barack Obama. He didn't live there. He would travel with Barack Obama wherever Obama went, which would make sense for a private chef. Now, if you go through the man's Instagram, you'll find that he's tagged a post that says, "I can't swim." Way back in October 2017, Tafari Campbell tagged a photo of him in the water saying, "I still can't swim." So was the guy out on a paddleboard? But there is an update here. Obama chef who said he can't swim and drowned actually had become a proficient swimmer. His Instagram feed shows that he was practicing swimming, and you can see here videos of him practicing swimming in the water. Here he is, swimming in the water. Well, this is extremely strange. There he goes. Survival skills. Here he is practicing his swimming. He's floating on his back. He's swimming. This would clearly get you out of trouble in 8 feet of water. So what the hell happened? I don't know. And it's very, very odd. It's very strange. These are questions that we have. These are strange questions that deserve answers. And if there are, ladies and gentlemen, questions like this that persist, then it is literally incumbent upon the press and upon the Obama estate to answer those questions. How does a guy who's proficient at swimming drown in 8 feet of water? A guy who's working on his endurance here, according to his own social media posting, drown in 8 feet of water? A guy who clearly works out. You can see here this photo of him. This guy was a fit individual. This person. I don't know, man. Jesse Waters asking the same questions that we are. Well, not allowed to ask the exact same questions, but at the very least, covering some of the peculiarities of this event. Check this out.
Police found Tafari Campbell, Obama's 45-year-old personal chef, dead just 100 feet away from Obama's private beach in only 8-foot deep water. Police say Barack and Michelle were not at the residence at the time of the incident. They may have been somewhere else on the island or even out of town. It's unclear. The Obamas released a statement saying this, quote, Tafari was a beloved part of our family. When we first met him, he was a talented sous chef at the White House, creative and passionate about food and his ability to bring people together. In the years that followed, we got to know him as a warm, fun, extraordinarily kind person who made all of our lives a little brighter. That's why when we were getting ready to leave the White House, we asked Tafari to stay with us, and he generously agreed. He's been part of our lives ever since, and our hearts are broken that he's gone. Today, we join everyone who knew and loved Tafari, especially his wife, Charisse, and their twin boys, Xavier and Savine, in grieving the loss of a truly wonderful man.